Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome from the Wellness Homesteader. So today is finally the day that I am going to can up my pie pumpkin. So I ended up with 5, and 4 I purchased, 1 I grew. One of my pie pumpkins fell off the vine yesterday, and it was not ripe. So that's probably what I'm going to get. Because pumpkins store well, I am not going to can all that I purchased because I have a feeling it's going to be way more pumpkin than I want to take up space in my pantry for. So just to give you an idea, this is about 3/4 of one of the pie pumpkins. So I'm going to guess that's about 4 pints. So I'm going to get about 5 pints of pumpkin. And I couldn't tell just by looking at the pumpkin. So why on earth should you eat pumpkin? I actually know that pumpkin's very good for you, but I wasn't really sure why. So I did a little research so I could share with you today. So if you're eating the actual pumpkin, the meat of the pumpkin, it helps strengthen your immune system. It has, of course, beta carotene like any orange vegetable, like some squashes and carrots and such, and we know that's good for our eye health. It is high in vitamin A. This I found really interesting. It can help lower your bad cholesterol. And I struggle with high cholesterol as a inherited thing. Thank you, Mom. And it's also very high in fiber, low in fat, and it only has, are you ready, 49 calories in a whole cup. Now, that is provided that you don't fill it full of buttery and sugary goodness, which is what I used to do. But I actually like pumpkin just cooked, pureed, and some cinnamon in it. It actually tastes fine. Or you could use, if you're so inclined, you could use an artificial sweetener, or you could put honey, or if you're not worried about sugar, you could also use sugar as well. So I love the pumpkin, but here's something I really love. I love the seeds. So I started with the prime pumpkin specimen because I want to pull some of these out to save to grow next year. I was not happy with the brand, I guess you would say, of pie pumpkin or the type of seed that I grew this year. They're very late on the vine. They were started indoors in March, April, so they should be ripe, and they're not. I still have 2 very, very green ones on the vine that I don't think will ripen, but we shall see. I have not torn up the vines yet. So the seeds are very high in protein. So 1 ounce of seeds contains 7 grams of protein. So just to give you an analogy, that'd be like a extra large egg or a jumbo egg equivalent. And if you're vegan or vegetarian, or you just have trouble getting your protein in, which I definitely am not a great meat eater, so I do eat nuts and seeds because they contain great health benefits as well as provide my protein. So that's a good option for you. A half a cup is about 140, 145 calories. Now, that said, that is if you don't douse them with a lot of butter or oil when you're roasting them. And I will probably use some olive oil on mine because if you don't, they just aren't as good. Fat's good. But at least olive oil or avocado oil is a little bit healthier oil. They're high in fiber. They have all kinds of vitamins, vitamin K, phosphorus, copper, iron, magnesium. So there's just every reason when you have pumpkin, pie pumpkin, to not only, and you can eat jack-o'-lantern pumpkin seeds, by the way. Jack-o'-lanterns don't have the same meat or flavor as a pie pumpkin to eat. So let me swing you around here a little bit and show you what I've been doing this morning. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. So the first thing you want to do with your pumpkin is cut it in half. I have tried de-stemming these, and I have to tell you, I am not a weak person. I don't have great hand strength, but it's not an easy task. And I just have my compost bucket here, and when it's full, I'll run it out and, just keep filling it. Then you can cut it in half. So let's go ahead and cut this one. This is a really, really large one. And this is an extremely, extremely sharp knife. And I am still having a challenge getting through it. I can't go through it all at once. So, guys, I think I'm going to have to break down and get reading glasses because my up-close vision is just horrid. And I do have contact lenses that are monovision, so one for distance, one for near. However, I will share that even with that, it's not foolproof or perfect. So here's what the inside of your pumpkin is going to look like. What you want to do, obviously, is take the seeds out, but see all the membranous pieces? You only want the fleshy part of the pumpkin. So what I did was I cut it into wedges, kind of like a cantaloupe. Then I will chop it into 1-inch cubes. And if there is any peel, I tried peeling it like you would an apple. Oh my goodness. Either my knife is bad, I have terrible knife skills, or something, because I couldn't do it. So I actually am laying the wedge on its side and then cutting off all of the peel or the rind, whatever you want to call it. Then once I get the cube, I don't want the membranous piece. So I've been scraping this with an ice cream scoop. I tried a spoon. I think the ice cream scoop works a little bit better. I will even cut this side that has the membranous parts on it as well. So I end up with very clean pumpkin for my canning. So I'm going to keep working here. I'm probably going to be cutting pumpkin all day. And also, just a quick little note. You all are just so great, and I do get a lot of private messages, and I appreciate each and every one of them. I've been getting a lot of questions, which is shocking to me, about clothing. And, where do I get my clothing? So I love LulaRoe clothing. I particularly love it because they have dressy things. They have a lot of dresses and skirts. And then they also they're known for their buttery soft leggings. And trust me, you will get sucked into the leggings. I probably have 100 pairs of leggings because I wear them a lot. One word of caution about leggings. Leggings will lie to you. They will be like, we got you, girl, while you're gaining weight, because they stretch and they are elastic waist. But, don't forget to weigh yourself and to try on your real button zip pants occasionally so that you don't believe the lie that leggings are going to tell you. The shirt that I have on today, and I love this. It's a little long on me, but I am a short girl. It's called an amber. It's a hoodie. This one is made out of sweater material, and I just thought the print was really, really unique. So I have a message actually out to my supplier. Sounds like I'm a dealer or something. I would not want to share their shopping link without their permission. So as soon as they respond and say yes, and I feel confident they will, I will drop the link that you can just click on. You will have to register as a customer. They do ship. And then you'll be able to see all of the beautiful styles that LulaRoe has. The other great thing about LulaRoe is it lasts and lasts and lasts and lasts. I probably could go the rest of my natural lifetime and not buy any clothing, as long as I don't gain weight. And I'm always amazed when I wash things. Everything is in cold water, and hung dry or hung outside, how beautifully they wash and just how fresh and nice they look. It's perfect for travel. When I first found LulaRoe, I was looking for garments that would travel easily, that I could just roll up, put in my suitcase, because I traveled all the time. And it totally fit the bill, and I always felt like I looked professional and nice. So stay tuned. I'll be back with more pumpkin goodness. Well, welcome back, guys. So You're probably wondering why the crock pot is in the middle of the canning video. So what I actually did, let me swing you over here, and this is a very, very large bowl, is I did the 2 big pie pumpkins, and it was so much work on my hands. So I'm sure you have all noticed my arthritic, awful hands, but hey, they work still most of the time. So rather than to continue to stress out my hands with all the chopping, I am going to actually can these 2, and then you can roast these, and it's so simple. Cut them in half, take out the seeds, take out the membranes, put them in the crock pot on high for, it says 2 to 3 hours. I've never used the crock pot to cook it. I've always roasted it, so it'll be interesting. This is so much easier to get out. And then I can place it into vacuum seal bags, vacuum seal it, and freeze it flat because I've created a little room in my freezer. Swing you around, hopefully not make you dizzy. So over here is my Tefal canner. So I do have a gauged canner that I'm going to use today. And even though it's a little different, it says 1, 2, 3. This is 5, 10, and 15 pounds. And you just want the needle to stay in the green area. So I have that ready. Back here, better turn that off. I have my lids and rings, nice and warm. And then in this kettle, I have simmering water, because what I'm going to do next is blanch and dip out my pumpkin for 2 minutes, and then we'll start canning. So I have everything set up, and I'll see you back in just a few moments. All right, well, our pumpkin has been blanched for 2 minutes. You can see the steam coming off. It's really cold in my house still. I'm turning the heat on. I'm proud of that. I have an electric kettle filled with water. So some of you may wonder, why do I not use the water that I cooked the pumpkin in? If you left any membrane at all, it tends to come off in the water, and I don't want that in my pumpkin, because that, if you've ever had home canned pumpkin where you're like pulling strings out or you feel like you're eating hair, it's probably just a little bit of membrane. It certainly won't hurt you, but it's tastier. And you know, just remember, the quality of what you put in your jars is not going to improve when you pressure can it. So you want to make sure you use prime, fresh products, cut appropriately. The home canning guide, I consulted a couple books. You cannot puree pumpkin and can it safely. You have to cube it. So I will be canning this at 10 pounds of pressure for 55 minutes. Let's go ahead and fill a couple jars. And I want to share with you, I have already washed my jars and sanitized them in the dishwasher, but they are room temperature, so off. What we want to do is carefully, we don't want to smoosh this up. We want to pack in our pumpkin carefully. And I finally found my debubbler. I cleaned out all of my kitchen drawers. I was kind of proud of myself actually for doing that. Put in pretty shelf liner. And lo and behold, of course, that's where it was. So, always a good idea too, let me tell you, to have a spoon handy if you overfill. It's just a little easier to remove. Okay. So let's go ahead and fill this up to 1 inch headspace, which is right before the curve. So let's see how we do here. Ugh. And I know I'm going to have to heat multiple kettles, but if you don't have an electric kettle, you need one. I mean, they are just, I overfilled, guys, sorry. They're just amazing because they heat your water quickly, and I believe it saves me on electricity. I'm sure it's pulling more amps, but okay, so now we have our jar full. You definitely want to go around and debubble. You do not want bubbles. And anytime you're canning something with a chunk, you're more likely to have a little bit of bubbles. Okay, so now I want a double more water. Okay. Paper towel. You can use cloth. I use paper towel. And you want to clean that rim really, 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 really well. I always thought I did a really good job at this, but when I was making my chili, I actually discovered one of my onion broth had come unsealed. So that, of course, was not safe to eat, and very, very sad. So let's get us, oh, for goodness sakes, it's an octopus in here. Grab us a lid. Here we go. So lid on, and that one will have to be sanitized. Oh, goodness me. This might be a two-taker. Okay, there you go. And then you want your ring finger tight. And then I'm going to put this in the canner. So let me share, my canner just is warm. It's not boiling. So I have filled my pressure canner about 1/3 of the way full with water. So I'm gonna keep filling jars. I'll bring you back, let you know how many pints I actually got, show you what the canner looks like. We'll bring it up to pressure and we'll can us some pumpkin. All right, y'all, well, I ended up with 9 pints, so I was pretty close on the 4 to 5 pints per that size of pie pumpkin. What I'm doing now is, if you see the little, well, I know you can see in here, but if you see the little steam emblem here, you need to vent your canner for a full 10 minutes before you start to bring it up to the number 2, which is 10 pounds of pressure. And I just want to say, y'all know your canner, learn about your canner. I always have my manual. There's great videos, usually from the manufacturer, that you can also take a look at. So I will bring you back once this has come up to pressure, just so you can see what it looks like, and then we will be processing it for 55 minutes. We are up to pressure in the green. I have my heat between medium and medium high. We still have some venting going on, of course, but we're on level 2 or 10 pounds pressure. So I've set the timer, 2 of them as a matter of fact, because you always need backup. And then I will bring you back when this is completely finished and show you the end product. Okay, guys, well, our canner is finally depressurized, and you can see the liquid in the jars is still kind of bubbling and boiling. But I'm pleased because it doesn't look like I had any siphoning, which is where the liquid in the jar ends up in your water. Oops, and they're sealing before I even get them out. So let me pull these out, and then I'll give you a final shot and show you how my crock pot pumpkin came out. Well, I am happy to report 6 of the 9 jars have already sealed just as I took them out of the canner. So I don't want to touch them. As a reminder, you always want to use like a padded cloth, not only to protect your countertop, but also you don't want to shock the jars. They've been under high heat and high pressure for over an hour, actually, by the time it cools down. So in addition to the 9 pints, I did vacuum seal up an entire pumpkin, minus what I ate, because I did eat a little bit of it, and it is so good, so pumpkin-y, so much better than what you buy in the can. I will say it was a lot of work, but I'm extremely pleased. I'll show you my unripe pumpkin that fell off the vine, and I don't like the looks of the rump end. So this may become yard decor, I'm not sure. So as a final note, I will drop the link below to the LulaRoe shopping site so that you will be able to take a look at the beautiful LulaRoe clothes. I don't receive compensation for it, but I just like sharing when I get the questions. So I hope you find that helpful. So be well, be blessed, be healthy. Have a great rest of your day.